Who's up next in the golden chair? Founder of Third Act Quest and the 333 Collective Third Act Stories, connecting fiercely curious women 50 plus, Diana Place. I am your host, Christina Vidovich of Women Getting Visible.
Well, hello everyone, and hello Diana.
Hi, how are you? Wonderful.
Oh my goodness. What a technical morning it is, or afternoon, wherever you are in the world right now. Diana and I have been backstage. This is the beauty of going live, sitting in each of our green rooms, getting ready to go on, and the internet goes out, and then the live stream turns off. But that's the beauty. Here we are. I can't even find my notes anymore because they disappeared.
Hey, but we are visible right now. That's all that matters, right? And we're doing our best.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want to introduce Diana Dunbar Place as one of the most phenomenal women that I have in my circle and that I know. Absolutely. Every time I speak with Diana, I have something to learn. I have something to take away. And I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it.
I'm getting them too, sweetie. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. You know, you are the first person that I've heard the know me, like me, trust me. And wow, has that really impacted my life? Because one of the things we need to do sometimes is we need to slow down. We're ready to grab, but knowing someone and having that chance to go, I do like you, but let's take some more time. And now I can trust you. And then your other piece that I love is your aha moments about how we can embrace life when we stop and we go, oh, let's hold on to this moment, because it is an aha that, why didn't I stop before to smell the roses? Why didn't I stop to look at that sunset? I just rushed past instead of going, oh, this is my moment. This is my time. And you are an incredible lady, and you are running. Oh, thank you. Thank you. The Third Act Quest, the 333 Collective. You, my friend, are a special woman affecting so many lives, and I am so grateful to have you in my life. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think I like to use this phrase, after 50 or more years on this planet, it is a craving we have, I believe, to figure out a way we can weave together all of the things that matter to us, the things we hold dear, our passions, our talents, our experience, and our values, to make an impact in the world. And, that can be in my neighborhood and my family, in a broader community. It can be on so many levels, but that I see with women that I know as a universal craving. And along with that comes the necessity to step out of the shadows sometimes and stop being wallpaper and just get visible. It's really hard for us. I'm just going to say this because it just popped into my head. But when I was young, so I'm turning 66 next week. But when I was young, the prevailing messages that young girls heard was, don't toot your own horn. You talk too much. Slow down. Just listen. Do as I do, say, not as I do. All of these phrases are such old stories that are hard to, remove, especially when it comes to having our own businesses or our own ventures and things we want to say in the world. Those little things still echo, especially don't toot your own horn. I mean, that's a big one.
Yeah, indeed. And it's incredible because when I show up to those calls with you, I'm so happy to listen to you help someone toot their own horn and celebrate ladies. Absolutely. I mean, I feel celebrated. I was jotting a couple notes down last night that I have to share with you about my testimonial. And it wasn't a paragraph. It was a page, because I will never forget the day that I had the opportunity to meet you through Marty McNabb. with Melissa Davey cheerleading one right behind, going, you need to be part of this group with Diana. And everybody's like, isn't Diana amazing? And I'm like, she is such a fresh breath of air. And what you do is just incredible. I mean, being in your circle, like I said, is just like nothing else. And I'm glad to be part of the club.
Well, I think you bring such energy, and that's one of the things that's so cool. When I think about getting visible for the 333 Collective, I'm cautious about it because we've got such just beautiful alchemy of the people like yourself. It's intentionally called a collective and not really a community, because every single woman's coming at this life, this third act, usually with a different way of being or different dreams, but we all unify in one way or in a number of ways. But mostly it's about a willingness to care and support each other and not compete with each other, to say, such and such just launched a book or is working on this thing. How can I help? Not like, oh, I'm jealous or, so there's that energy that's generous, really curious. Many of us tend to overload our plates. I was just talking to Melissa Davey this morning, and I was like, man, I'm tired. I'm just doing too much. She goes, me too. I said, so help me. And she goes, no, you help me. And we just said, we have to focus. We have to find balance. But that's the other unifying thread, is everybody's just so excited about possibilities. Yeah, the world is crazy right now. The world is full of uncertainty. And as you get older, there's a lot of new challenge, not only to running a business or whatever you're up to, but just to being. There's a lot of challenges. But if we let ourselves be dragged down, we'll get lost. So that's where I'm just so excited about this event you have in DC, because it's a beautiful topic, an important topic for us all to think about. What is the light we can shine out, either our own organizations or our own beliefs that we think will support other women or other people. So I'm just really excited. I appreciate what you've done or you're doing.
Oh, thank you. And it's such a drive for me to be able to meet women like you and spotlight, in my humble way of going, wow, here's somebody who's had this incredible life. And I'm just scratching the surface of all the things and learning about what you've done. Can you share a little bit about your journey? Because you're in New Hampshire now, but
Yes.
you have lived other places and done some other things in corporate before you arrived to this place.
Yes. I like to say I spent many, many years dancing all around the edges of my passions and all of my things. Every single thing I've done in my corporate career and in my life has a little piece of what I care most about. And it wasn't until, it's 2018. So I got sick after a crazy cancer diagnosis. And it was my life's biggest aha moment, one that I'm actually grateful for. You'll talk to a lot of people who have an illness or a big disruption that actually find the silver lining to it. So for me, it put me squarely in the path that I am now. And I said, no more wasting time on things that aren't at the center or heart driven for me. So Third Act Quest is the culmination of a number of years, including an ad agency gig that I loved, but I finally left and started a cause marketing firm because I really felt like I wasn't making a difference except for the companies that hired me. And I loved it, but I left. And then I went into semi-bankruptcy because I ended up not being able to charge nonprofits when they ask for my help. So it was one of those learning episodes. Flash forward, I got recruited to this company called America Online in the late 90s. And I'm like, oh, what is this internet thing? I think this is pretty cool. I know, it is so wild. I didn't even have an email account. And I got recruited by an old boss. And I remember my friends thinking I was crazy. I took a 50% pay cut because they said, this thing's going to change the world. And I want to be there. It ended up being the most wild ride in my career, my corporate life career. I had a blast until I didn't, and I left. Along the way, toward the end, I was blessed with my last imperfect egg daughter, who sent me into a whole different plane of priorities. And then eventually, when she was 3, I was able to leave and move to New Hampshire. So DC area to New Hampshire. But throughout my life as a mother, even, I couldn't quite focus on just on that role, although I gave that the number one spot. But I had a photography business for a while. And then I started a really cool platform for global design and designers, which was beautiful, but that's the one I had to shut down when I got sick. And again, on the edges of my passions. But as I sat and I healed, I just did one of those little assessments that happen really quickly sometimes in your brain, and sitting in a chair and go, oh my God, I'm in my 3rd act. What's that? I'll Google it. And I saw this cool talk by Jane Fonda. And I said, oh, I think I'm going to come up with a business called 3rd Act Quest. So it just sort of happened. But my primary intention and mission in the world is to collect, like you do, collect, connect, and share the stories of what I call the extraordinary, ordinary women who are rewriting the rules of aging and inspiring us to shift the way we think of it ourselves, but also have an impact in our own little inspiring way, I hope, on the culture. And it's the embedded ageism that's actually in all of us, as well as in the hiring processes of most institutions. So that's my circuitous route. But along the way, I am happy, joyful, and I feel like I've found my place and my desire. I'll say one more thing. When people say, I'm like 65 now, almost 66, they say, what are you going to do when you retire? I'm like, what? I'll use the word, I'll refire a few times, or I'll rearrange my life a few times. But I think I'm looking at you and I'm sensing that's the same thing you feel. You're younger, but at the same time, when you find things that align everything together, why would I want to stop? So that's me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I feel like I spent the first 30 years of my life having a great time. And now the second 30 years of my life of going, okay, now I'm going to get serious.
Oh, come on. You were very serious. You might have had you had a great time, but you ran a very successful business for all that time. I mean, that's just fantastic. Anyway.
Thank you. Yes.
Sure.
Yes. No, and it's fun because you talk about, and this is where it is in that visibility. And I'm connected to women around the world who are going through that, who are somewhere in their later 50s and suddenly going, wait a minute, I'm in the lineup to be dismissed from this job when I have given my life's work here. And what am I going to do next? Because who's going to hire me now? And it's so interesting because you having been in corporate, I know I was a small business owner, but you in corporate, and then now with a lot of these women who also have been in corporate, redefining themselves and coming to a place where they're taking that leap to entrepreneurship, which is not an easy thing, because when you have the job, you have the safety net, you have all the pieces, and then suddenly you're going, whoa, I'm really in charge of my health insurance, of my paycheck, or what that's going to look like. So what are the things that you have learned from other women in their journey turning into this space?
It's a great question. I think entrepreneurship is not necessarily for everyone. It becomes a little easier when you're maybe forced to do your own thing, but it is something that, and that's what 333 also gives to me and hopefully to our members, is it can be lonely as hell as an entrepreneur. You're like, as you say, you're doing your accounting, you're, cleaning up your Zoom account, you're doing all these things. And you sometimes get lost in that and you feel lonely. So I love the idea of knowing that and seeking out other women to connect with and say, what do you think? Which AI tool do you like the best? Which, blah, blah, blah. So for me, what I see a lot of women encounter, especially those that are coming from corporate, is that they'll sit up from their desk and they think they can call someone to build a spreadsheet, but whoops, I don't have a staff anymore, that kind of stuff. It takes a while. And I also think, visibility and who you are, the most important thing for any entrepreneur, I believe, is to be true and real. And when you're part of a large company, sometimes you take on that identity as your own. I have to say, I remember when I was at AOL at first was like, who the heck are you? And then it became, with the Time Warner merger and things like that, it became on front page news for everyone. And if I were to mention casually in a conversation I was with AOL, America Online, they would change the way they looked at me. And that really bugged me. I didn't want to draft on my company's brand, either negatively or positively. So I think, to me, being an entrepreneur is so critical to find and reconnect with who you really are and represent yourself that way. And if that includes admitting what you don't know, or admitting when you need help and all these kind of things. It's sometimes hard for entrepreneurs in this world where we're used to seeing all these pitch fests where people are so perfect and, they have it all figured out. I think vulnerability, authenticity, and the willingness to step out and speak, as you say, authentically about what they offer, and not have this little voice going, oh God, you're tooting your own horn. Oh my God. So all of these things come to play and sometimes can hold us back, especially women in my, over 50-ish time, is that time where the insecurities start to mount because we become a little bit invisible in the world. I've had friends go, oh my God, I was in line at the grocery store asking someone a question and they looked right over my head as though I didn't exist. So there's invisibility that comes along with being an older woman. You've got to ignore that insecurity that can come along with that and just say, that's the way it is. But I feel strong and I feel good knowing who I am. So again, your question was really around entrepreneurship. It's a necessity for some, but for me, it's just the gift to be able to just make my own decisions and prioritize how I want to make a difference and prioritize what I do each day. It's just a gift.
And what you do each day is amazing. And the fact of that you're celebrating ladies and saying, hey, here's somebody you need to know. Here's somebody you need to know, because there are so many amazing ladies who are over 50 doing amazing things. And we haven't even scratched the surface yet, Diana, and showing off who all these ladies are.
I love it. I love it. That we are each other's biggest cheerleaders. And that's what happens when you get to know, like, and trust someone. You want your friends, your colleagues, whether or not you know them that well at all, you want them to succeed because we all feel like we're a part of something together.
Yeah. And again, what you're building is something amazing. Can you give us a little sneak peek about the retreat that will happen. Oh, hello.
You know what? That's so funny. It's 3:33 every day at 3:33. My alarm goes off and I take a picture of what I'm doing. Do you mind if I'll do a little quick shot of you? Okay. So,
Fantastic. Wow.
oh my God. So 333 launched. Women from all over met each other and just sort of had a fun fest. Last year, we had our first in-person Quest 2024 gathering in Rhode Island, and I felt like I was at like a reunion of lifetime friends, lifelong friends. And no, most of these women had just known each other over Zoom for maybe a year. So that kicked things off. I decided it was time to get together and celebrate each other. I would say a good 3/4 of the speakers and the panelists were 333 members. So it was a little bit of showing each other what we care about and sharing our gifts and sharing our advice and insights on creating a third act. So that was sort of the theme, was sort of unleashing your dreams. Now, this is the second Quest gathering. I decided to do it every 2 years because it almost killed me the first time. It was so, as you know, organizing an event. So it's in April 12th through 15th in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which is a beautiful, magical place. And it's similarly set up. But in this case, because of all that's happening in the world, I decided to spend some time, and actually you're going to be our fabulous moderator of a panel I'm calling right now, Third Act Impact. And the ahas that sent a group of women that'll be on your panel to align together and figure out how they'd make a difference in the world. So I've got a number of really cool women to introduce for that. But the really exciting thing that sits at the cornerstone of my mission is the AHA Third Act Stories live stage. Now, I see it as why can't it eventually be like a TED Talk? But in this case, it's spotlighting people who are rewriting the rules of aging. So that is going to be so fun. We have 10 women that we're going to put on stage for that. It's going to be recorded. I've brought a really nice recording situation for that. And then we're going to do some really cool workshops. I've got some really cool workshop leads. And what it really comes down to in this Quest gathering and in life is like, at this stage in life, we all like to mine our memories and the events of our lives into little stories that we might want to share. Hey, maybe you want to write a book, a big inspirational book. Maybe you want to write your memoir. Maybe you just want to create a bunch of stories to share with your family. But we're going to do a little bit of that. We're going to also have some really cool art experiences to sort of express our stories through art and video. So it's going to be fun. I could go on for about 10 more days, and I know this is this is a limited time event, but I'm really excited about it. And I'm opening up registration. First priority are going to be 333 members and the women that came last year. And that opens up on September 19th. So that's coming up soon.
I'm so excited, and thank you for giving me a part in this. I'm so excited to be there. I can't wait. I know it's not till next April, but I was like, I want to pack my bags now.
Have you been to Santa Fe?
I've been through Santa Fe. But I haven't spent time in Santa Fe.
Yeah. It's called, well, New Mexico is called the land of enchantment. And there is a reason that Santa Fe has really become a hub for a lot of women over 50. And a lot of it is the arts, the nature, and things like that. But I'm talking to a few Native American storytellers that will set up the storytelling stage, because story is such an important cultural part of the Native American history and life. the place we're having in La Fonda has an amazing place in history. They were the site of this tour company that employed over 200,000 young women in the late 1800s. Now, who knew? They said we like to think of ourselves as the original beginning of the original women's movement. I'm like, okay, I'm up. So it's a magical place. So I'm glad you'll be there with me.
Oh, I can't wait. And like you said, getting to see everyone in person. And I'm going to give a little shout out to Maria Leonard Olson and Marty McNabb. They both put little shout outs here to us. So other 3-3 members, I'm glad that you are able to join us live. You'll be able to watch it again. And I am excited about you being the opening keynote speaker for the Women Getting Visible show, because if you can't hear it, everyone who's listening and watching, Diana is wonderfully full of passion as she speaks, and she speaks with a beautiful, genuine drive and excitement, and that I just love. It's this beautiful, calming vibe of life.
Well, I want to throw this by you, and I want to share this quote that's been pasted on some bulletin board in my life since I first discovered it. And it was by Martha Graham. And it fits with how I'm going to start my message, which is along the lines of not holding back, but daring to be visible, fighting through, self-doubt and all that kind of stuff. So Martha Graham said, there is a vitality, a life force, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium, and it will be lost. So in my message is really just let her out and be visible. Don't worry if you have too many wrinkles on your face. Don't worry if your dress isn't perfect. Don't worry if your message isn't perfect. You need to be visible if you have something important or inspiring to share with others.
And we're going to celebrate all of those ladies every day. Well, Diana, I want to thank you so much for joining today and for your time. And, everyone who's out there, come and see Diana in person. You will want to write her love notes and say, you are just so inspiring.
I will love getting those love notes. So, yeah, I think that the DC area, I grew up in Virginia, so I'm really excited to be back down there for the weekend. And of all the things I look forward to this is what I crave. And I think you and I share this, which is I love meeting new people. I love hearing their stories. I love figuring out ways that we might be able to help each other and support each other. So I am wide open. So if you are coming and you meet me, please know that I want to know you and I want to support what you're doing in any way I can.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that is our time for today. So everyone, thank you for joining me and Diana here on Women Getting Visible. Come out and get visible with us. We'll see you next time.
Who will be up next in the Golden Chair? Join us next week. I am your host, Christina Vidovich of Women Getting Visible. Let me personally invite you to the Women Getting Visible show and conference October 10th through 12th in Washington, D.C. We'll kick off Friday night with our VIP reception. Saturday, we'll have powerful keynote speakers, incredible workshops, and networking opportunities. After the Back to Me session, you'll walk away with confidence on Sunday. Join us and get your visibility journey energized. Who will be up next in the Golden Chair? Join us next week